Hey everyone, Rob Walker here, the Cycling Realtor, and welcome to another episode of Psychology of the Grind. Today, I'm incredibly honored to be joined by someone who embodies what it means to operate at the highest level. From trading bonds on Wall Street to earning her JD from New York Law School and MBA from Cornell, to now building her own real estate brokerage, her journey is nothing short of elite. We're diving into what it really takes to succeed in high-performance environments, how to win trust with high-profile clients, and the mindset behind launching something from the ground up. So, whether you're a new agent, a seasoned pro, or someone who's just fascinated by the psychology of the grind, this episode is for you. Hey, before we dive in, I just want to take a moment to say, if you find value in these conversations, if they challenge your thinking or help you grow, make sure you subscribe or follow the podcast. It's a small action that makes a big impact, and it helps us continue bringing meaningful conversations to people just like you. Now, let's get into it. Welcome to the pod, Lynne Mazin. Welcome, Lynne.
Hey, Rob. Thanks for having me today.
Thanks for joining me. Just to kind of jump right in, I wanted to find out what is something that people would be surprised to learn about your real estate journey.
I think I started off really like a lot of people. I was sitting on the couch, probably watching $1 Million Listing like everyone else. And I really thought it was fascinating. And I thought it was something that would be fun to do. And that's how I got here.
Looking at your resume, you've always sort of had this like level of ambition. So that's nothing new to you. But what was it about real estate that pulled you in and grabbed your attention like immediately? Was it just a lifestyle or did you actually really enjoy something else about the industry?
It could be something special about New York City. You drive by all these beautiful buildings and you always wonder what's inside. And it's something that was always intriguing to me. And I just simply wanted to learn more.
Starting with your Wall Street background, what was that pivotal moment where you were just like, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to make this transition.
I spent a little time networking. I definitely met with some people that I thought had a good footprint in the space to learn more about what they did and see if it was something that would truly interest me. And the more I talked to people, the more confident I became that it was something I wanted to give a go.
Was there anything that you find similar about the two?
Compared to Wall Street, it's very transaction oriented. So it's all about really the art and the science of doing a deal. So in that capacity, definitely very similar, having a cadence for deal flow, and doing deals and getting things over the finish line. That's similar. And it's just the truth. When you're running your own business, it's more work than working for somebody else. It just is.
Yeah. No, for sure. In the world of finance, Wall Street, obviously there's a lot of trust building that you have to do. How was that skill transferable into real estate?
It's all about connectivity. I think one of the things that really distinguishes the good brokers from the great brokers is they have a really good rapport. They have a really good rapport with the people they work with, the people they work for, senior management, clients, other people that support their business. It's all about really managing your relationships and nurturing your relationships. And that's probably very similar in most industries. The better you treat people, the more success you have.
Absolutely. I did my research and I learned a little bit more about your background. And I realized that you did, as for some time, work, in the sports and entertainment sector of real estate. What was that like for you?
It's fun. There's specifically in New York City, there's always people coming and going, from every walk of life. You meet everybody. And the people who are coming here for sports and entertainment or new jobs or school, everybody's excited to be here. New York City
Yes.
has phenomenal energy and everyone's excited to be here. And it's great to partner with people and help them see their dreams come true.
Do you find that area is a little bit more challenging than just regular residential real estate?
It can be a little time pressured because people don't get a lot of notice about their roles, whether it's in the entertainment space or in the sports space. If they're transitioning to New York City, sometimes they know a few weeks in advance. Sometimes they know even a few days in advance. So there's a little bit of a time sensitivity to it. And they always want discretion and they want to be treated well and they want the VIP service. And a good broker gives that VIP service to every single client they have. So it should be something that, the way I see it, is just part of the way you interact with your client base.
For sure. In your opinion, what separates an average agent from an elite agent?
I think the people that the elite agents surround themselves with really helps them achieve success in the business. You always want to surround yourself with really good people that elevate your own performance. And when you surround yourself with good people that are really strong and really seasoned in what they do, it elevates your performance. And that's really where I see the difference.
Obviously, you know my story a little bit, we talked offline, but as a new agent, somebody that's just getting started and they're looking to sort of build up the confidence, if you will, just for lack of a better word, I kind of want to say like when they walk into a room or they're trying to establish themselves, maybe they don't necessarily have the credentials or have the sales underneath their belt. What would be your top recommendation for somebody that's just getting started?
I'm a big believer that real estate is not a solo sport, it's a team sport. Jump on a
Mm-hmm.
team. They will really help bring you up to speed in the industry very quickly. And it gives you a really good foundation to launch your business, to go out and say, oh, I'm working with one of the leading teams in my city. Here's what everybody does. Here's their expertise. Here's what I do. And you can lean on those people to really help establish your reputation. It really gives you credibility out of the gate.
If you were talking to a new agent, somebody that has been in the industry less than 90 days, and you were telling them what to do for their first 90 days, what would be something that you would recommend, maybe a tip or two?
When I started, I put together a Hot 100 list of my core contacts in any industry. It didn't matter if I knew them from kindergarten or if I knew them from college or I knew them from business. I really put together a list of people who I thought, however possible, might be able to help me. And I spent the first couple of weeks and months really connecting with that group of people to tell them I was new in the industry. Here's what I was doing. I was going to be working with one of the number one teams in New York City, so I was confident I would I would be able to perform at a very high level. And I asked them, if you know anyone buying, selling, investing, I really appreciate the connectivity as I launch my career. And I
Sure,
think that's
sure.
really valuable. Just spend your time networking. Get out there, get your name out there. Obviously, there's a whole universe in social media, whether it's YouTube or Instagram or newsletters. Really start being intentional about how you communicate with your network and you tell them that you're launching your career. And a lot of it is in real life. In real life goes a long way. Meet with people in real life, coffee, drinks, gym, wherever they want to meet, because those are the people that really help you out, specifically in the beginning. They're really valuable.
I love that. Early on, for yourself, is there a skill that you have that you felt gave you more of a competitive edge?
I had a career before I had a career in real estate, and a
Yeah.
lot of people are very similar to me, and it's in all walks of life. There are people in the industry that are top producers that have come from Broadway. There's people that have come from Wall Street. There's people that have, you name it. I know somebody there. I know someone that was in the ballet. That's a phenomenal broker. So taking whatever that secret sauce was from your previous career and
Yes.
transitioning it here in real estate, I feel like it really gives you confidence, because I think when you look in the mirror, you're like, oh, wow, I was able to do this before and I can
Sure.
absolutely do it again.
A UVP, your unique value proposition. Do you think that it's important to have one?
Definitely, you're going to have your own personal brand identity that distinguishes you from everybody else in the industry, and you really have to lean into you. You can only be one person, you can only be yourself.
Right.
And you don't want to wake up in the morning and have this career be a character you play on TV. I think there's a lot of emphasis with Netflix shows and, a lot of drama that goes on in the industry. That's few and far between. That's very
Yeah.
selective. And again, it's made for TV. You just want
Yes.
to wake up and you want to do you. And that's it. And figure out what it is that differentiates you from everybody else. And there's definitely a trait in there that can really probably help you make meaningful connections within your community in some capacity. Whether you were in the ballet or I went to law school, so I had other attorneys in my network. Utilize that network. If you're a soccer mom, those soccer moms are powerful people. Like get in
Lean
that
into it.
Facebook group because they will
Yeah.
help you like lean into that group because that network will really help elevate you.
How do you stay motivated when results don't come right away?
You try to have very small successes. Every day you want to have a success. And it again comes down to how do you define success? If I went to a spin class, to me, I'm like, I had a rock star day. And that's separate and apart. Like, hopefully I did a deal, or if I didn't do a deal, that was something small, but I'm like, okay, I checked that box. I did it.
Yeah.
So you need small successes every day. It's not going to be selling a penthouse or selling a oceanfront mansion. So just small successes day over day. It's not about perfection. It's just about progress.
I like that. When it comes to staying focused in building your business, is there anything that you've done that's been successful for you as far as helping you maintain your level of focus for an extended amount of time?
Again, it's a real estate is a very competitive business in some capacity, but it's also a very supportive space. There are times when, yeah, your motivation can wax and wane and it comes and goes. But if
Sure,
you're
sure.
disciplined, I think that trumps motivation. You wake up every day, you stay disciplined. And like I was saying, it's a very supportive network. People in the real estate space usually want to help each other as opposed to I'll phrase it like this. Everybody in real estate, if you're working with the right people, celebrates your success. And in turn, you celebrate their success. So on
Yeah.
days when that motivation isn't there, go to the office and celebrate somebody else's success. Enjoy the achievements that other people are having because that rubs off on you and it gets exciting. And when you watch somebody else over the finish line, it motivates you to move forwards, even on days that, I get it. Some days are a little slower than others, but watching other people in action and having wins and successes, I definitely feel like that's something that definitely motivates me and keeps me constantly engaged.
I like that. I like that. Were there any books or YouTube videos you found value in early on or that you would recommend?
One of the books that I really love is a book by Chris Voss, who used to be an FBI hostage negotiator. And it's called Never Split the Difference. I think in terms of negotiation, when you start to get deals done and they become a little bit more critical in terms of where you're putting in bids and where you're putting in offers, there still is the art and the science of the deal. And I think it's really important that people understand negotiation techniques to really advocate strongly for your client. I love the book. I like the concepts. I I use them. They work. So I'm a big believer in that. And I'm a big believer in delivering an absolute phenomenal client experience because that
Yes.
experience is what your clients remember. And there are books I'm going to say Hug Your Customer. That's a phenomenal book. It's about a group in Connecticut, a family that runs a family clothing business, and they go above and beyond for their clients. And you can see why they are as successful as they are selling clothes based out of Connecticut because they provide service that you basically can't get anywhere else in the country.
Okay. I'll have to check for that. I'll definitely check for that. That's not like one of the typical ones that you hear.
Yeah, and I think that what we do, we're really part of the hospitality business here in real estate. You have to be world class.
Yes. Yes.
World class in terms of how you treat your clients because that's what your clients remember. They remember the experience and how you made them feel.
If you're still with us and this episode is resonating, I encourage you to take a moment to hit subscribe. Psychology of the Grind is all about elevating how we think, lead, and grow. And there's a lot more coming your way. Stay tuned. Is there anything that you do, let's say like behind the scenes, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, that no one sees that makes a huge impact for you in your business?
There's a lot of infrastructure that goes into what I do. And it's everything from maintaining your CRM, your
Hmm.
databases, your Instagram, your communications with your clients every day. You know, it's not the part of the business that you see on the front page of newspapers. It's not the part that people are celebrating, but it's all that discipline and all the time that you really infuse into your business where you're going to see the difference.
That makes sense. That
And the
makes
people
sense.
that do that, and they do it at 6 a.m. and they do it at midnight, they do it when they have some downtime. Those are the people that I think ultimately end up rising to the top because they have systems, they're dedicated, they're disciplined. And if it takes a little bit of courage in this industry, you have to be courageous, you have to be brave. There's a lot of rejection, but if you
Yes.
can stay focused mentally, keep your eye on the prize. It's just about making real connections with real people in real
Mhm.
life. And those are the people that come back and they support you and you will get deals done. And I think you really touched on it. Everything that you do throughout the course of your day, it's not people aren't jumping up and down and celebrating, but it's the stuff you do behind the scenes and the time and
Yes.
the effort that you put in that ultimately is what makes the difference for you.
Is there something that you feel that agents overlook when they're trying to break into the luxury space?
Are we defining luxury by price point?
Yeah, price point. Yeah.
I I want to say that one of the things that are very important, and I've heard it throughout the course of my career, people will refer to certain CEOs and they're like, he treats the head of the board the same way he treats the doorman and the janitor. It is
Hmm.
really, really important that whether you're doing a studio apartment for $500,000 or you're doing a penthouse for $25 million, everyone around you should have the exact same experience. I would be very surprised if people I help do a rental would have a different experience working with me than if they're buying something with me because luxury is the experience that you provide. That's really what it is. And if you start to really focus on providing that absolute world-class experience to your clients and however you define that in your specific market, you will see people will start to gravitate to you and they'll really appreciate attention to detail and quality of service and that's across the board. Oh, in terms of preparation, you're good. You're probably when you're doing a little bit more of the high-end market, you want to preview everything before you show it. You want to know it. I did it this morning. I have a client coming to New York next week. I went with a designer this morning to preview the property to make sure that we understood where it's going to trade, why it's going to trade there. We understood the comps. We had concepts for design because it's a pretty significant space and we needed a good appreciation of how to optimize that space. You spend time meeting people in advance of the showing. A lot of times, if I don't know the other broker, I call them, I introduce myself. I'm like, give me as much guidance as you can on the property. Where do you think it's going to trade? Take all that time. Again, whether it's $1 million or $25 million, you really want to take the time prepping because that's what's going to make the difference.
Yes. Yes. That's
I don't
helpful.
like any surprises. So I do everything I can do
Yeah.
to mitigate the opportunity to be walking through an apartment and I'm like, wow, I didn't know that there was a leak and the ceiling's
Yes.
cracking. Like it's fine if there's a leak and the ceiling's cracking. I just want to know so I can address it and say, oh, my understanding is there was a leak in this particular property, but they're in touch with the maintenance team and this will all be cleaned up by next week. At least if you can address it, you give everybody comfort as opposed to being surprised by something.
Are there any transactions through the course of your real estate career that have stuck with you or made sort of like a significant impact on how you do things now?
Of course, I think literally, I joke around, but it's true. Every single transaction has hair on it. There's no such thing as a deal that doesn't have hair. So every time something happens and there's a problem percolating, you sort out whatever that solution is. And if you're smart about it, going forward, you know how to be proactive and avoid that happening in the future. And I try to treat all those situations as learning experiences. And like I was saying before, if you're working with good seasoned people, good attorneys, good mortgage bankers, good colleagues, this is not the first time they've seen that problem. They've been doing it
Yes.
for 10 years, right? So if something happens and I think it's a problem, I will definitely reach out to my network and say, hey, how do you think I should address this? What's the solution here? Use that network because it's really valuable for you. And every single deal should be a learning experience that helps you elevate your career going forwards with the next client.
I heard you talk about this in one of your previous interviews. You were talking about the idea of being a rainmaker. Could you share about that with my audience? The idea of being a rainmaker?
One of the things that becomes important is that everybody everybody wants to achieve success, right? Every single person in your sphere wants to be successful. So whether it's the architect, the contractor, the designer, your photographer, all those people want to be successful. They wake up every morning and they're doing a job as well. So I find as a broker, I have the privilege, frankly, of having a new client move to New York City that probably doesn't know a lot of people here. And they will reach out to me for everything. Hi, I need a dog walker. Hi, I need somebody to color my hair. Hi, I need somebody to be a babysitter. I need a math tutor for my kids. It's a whole world out there that they just don't have connectivity to yet. And of course, yes, they're going to need a designer and an architect and a lot of things that pertain to real estate, but a lot of things that have really no touch points to real estate. It's just about New York City living. They just need go-to people.
Hmm.
So I really am conscientious of developing a very good network and a very good Rolodex. And I know when somebody asks me for something, I'll say to them, oh, reach out to so and so because I think they're phenomenal and they'll take very good care of you. And
Yes.
that's what makes me a rainmaker is that I really help everybody else in my network. So once I'm the original touch point to New York City, I then become the person who really helps everybody else around me to obviously deliver results for my client. I want my client to be happy, but I recognize that that network again gives us a lot of opportunities to collaborate together. And I hope in turn when people are asking them for a real estate agent, they think of me.
You and I, we talked last week, but something you said to me really stuck with me, and it was probably one of my larger takeaways from our time together. I was hoping that you could kind of speak on it again, and that was how you can't sell what you don't know. If you can remember, we were just kind of talking about educating yourself. It's just the whole idea of like if you're unfamiliar with the area, go out there and go see what it's about.
Yeah, of course. And this is not going to just be specific for New York City. When people ask me why should I take a look at something on 77th Street on the Upper East Side? I know to say, like, oh, there's a phenomenal restaurant out around the corner, and there's a great gym, and you're going to love this bar. And people want a community. They're moving into a community. So even if you know a specific apartment because you've shown it before, or you know a specific development, or you know a specific house, they want that community experience. And you can't speak to a community if you haven't spent time there. So a lot of times when I go to do a showing, I really know where's the best coffee, where's the best martini, where's the best spin class, where's the best yoga class. Questions that I think that my clients will be interested in knowing the answers to. Like I spend time, I walk around the neighborhood, I'll go to restaurants in the neighborhood, I go to classes in the neighborhood. Just I enjoy it. So obviously I'm not, I'm spending my time the way I like it. But
Yeah.
even beyond that, I hope that there's value add to my clients because if it's not just buying an apartment, you're investing in and experiencing a lifestyle. That's what people want. They want the lifestyle. And it's really important, especially in a place like New York, every corner of the city offers something different. Why do you want to be on the Upper West Side versus Harlem versus Battery Park versus Soho? They're all they frankly could be different worlds. And you
Yeah.
really want to say to them, here's the best of the best. Here's the best part of the Upper West Side. Here's the best part of Tribeca. And now over to you to figure out, what type of lifestyle you want. And I feel like you really can't talk to that if you really haven't taken the time to experience the community.
I love that. I love that. Okay, and winding down, I have just maybe like a couple more questions for you. Obviously, I'm approaching this conversation more as a student and from the standpoint of how I'm asking my questions. And so I'm loving this. This question is more of a personal question, if you will. You're not going to close the deal within the first touch, right? It's going to take some follow up, usually, some level of follow up. And so I wanted to know for you, what does a high value follow up look like?
I'm not shy. I get people from every angle. So you will hear from me on email. I will call you. I will text you. It's relentless. That follow up that's your business. So you have to really get people everywhere they are. And if they call me, I will call them back. If they don't answer, I text them. If I don't hear from them again, I email them. I will use every form of communication I can find basically to stay in
Sure.
touch with somebody because that follow up is critical. And I think the science says it's like 7 points of contact. Like if you are mailing a house or doing any type of that type of marketing, so you're mailing um seven touch points, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
that's a lot.
So
Yeah.
that means you're getting zero response for 7 cycles.
Yeah.
So assume that's like you send one postcard a month. For 7 months, you're never going to hear from these people and they're not going to
Yeah.
call you. But eventually, you're going to reach out to them and be like, hey, I'm the person sending you a postcard for 7 months. I have a
Yeah.
buyer for your apartment. Like, can we talk? Can we get together? You have to be relentless. Not ruthless, just relentless. You have to respect people's privacy and respect their space, but you've got to do the communication part of this job. You just have to stay on top of people. You have to do your monthly newsletter. You have to connect with people. You have to follow up with people. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, podcast, whatever methodology it is that you think works for you,
Hmm.
you just have to be relentless and get your name, get your brand out there and make those personal connections.
No, I love that. And to that point, I found that really there's no right or wrong way per se, or at least that's the conclusion that I've come to. But would you agree with that as far as whatever method you use in order to build your business, they all will work if you work it?
Yeah, there's systems. There's definitely systems that work. Do your research, find out what works for you. And, I spend a lot of time watching people that I think are successful in the industry and seeing what they're
Hmm.
doing. And I'm like, wow, I see why that works. I get it.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
And if somebody tells you something works, do it, right? Like, don't reinvent the wheel. If there's a senior broker in your company, in your firm, in your city, and you're like, wow, I see this person walking the streets every day and knocking on the doors. There's a reason that they're doing it. It works.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Was a point in your journey where you felt like, not to say like you had it all down packed, but you felt like, okay, I'm respected in this thing. Like I got this. Like I really have this down.
It's just, I wish I could say it was like a week. Success just is not A to Z. It's not. And you're going to
Yeah.
have fast days, slow days, big days, small days. And every day, I feel like you have to be your own biggest champion because no,
Yeah.
you're not gonna, every day isn't going to be a success. There'll be days where you're like, wow, that was a great freaking day. And then the next day, you're like, okay, my phone's not ringing. And that's
Yeah.
just the reality of what we do.
I appreciate you being on this journey with us. If something in this episode connected with you, I'd be honored if you would subscribe, leave a quick review, or share it with someone in your circle. That's how we grow this community and keep pushing the conversation forward. I appreciate you tuning in, and as always, keep showing up, keep building, and keep doing the work. I'm going to hit you with a couple rapid fire questions here and wrapping up. The first question that I'm going to shoot your way is
Here for your love.
what's one daily habit that you swear by?
I go out for a walk. I take the dog for a walk. It's relaxing, it clears your head, and it's a great way to start the day.
Maybe hardest lesson that you've had to learn, personally or professionally?
Sometimes you just quiet. The best thing you can do in certain situations is just do nothing. Just let everything play out, let it
Yeah.
happen. And doing nothing is a tricky skill, but there's a lot of times, specifically in what we do, everything will turn out the way it's supposed to be. And sometimes just doing nothing and letting a particular situation play out get you the results you need. You can't force somebody. You can't force somebody to buy a house, right? You can't force somebody to sell a house. You just
No.
have to let, you just have to let the magic happen and let everyone get there and land when they're ready.
Before we wrap up, I want to let you know toward the end of this episode, we had some unexpected audio issues. But I didn't want to let that stop me from sharing this powerful conversation with you. Lynne dropped some real gems on action steps, mindset, and disciplines every new agent can benefit from. One thing I definitely want to make sure you heard is she recently launched her own brokerage. For her, it was the natural evolution of her journey and a way to give back to this next generation of real estate professionals. If you want to connect with her directly, follow her on Instagram at Lynne Mazin. She's someone worth learning from. Thanks again for tapping into Psychology of the Grind. This show is about learning and understanding the mindset of what it takes to be successful as a leader in various industries. I appreciate you riding with me even through the technical hiccups. Listen, we're just getting started. Until next time, stay resilient, stay hungry, always bet on yourself, and remember, greatness is a process. Peace.
Always knew I'd be here, boy, it's no surprise. Heard the truth and I heard the lies. I used to walk, but now I ride. Used to be passenger, but now I drive.